Greetings everyone and welcome back. In the last episode I went over finishing the hatch cover, bedding the hardware back on the boat, and adding some finishing touches. Now it's time to wrap this up and get this boat back in the water. So now it was time to get the navigation lights up and running. The stern light went in first, applying some butyl tape at the bottom, as I did with the bow lights. One thing I wanted to do was replace most of the lights on the boat with LEDs. They consume far less power, never burn out, and are really bright and rugged. I used some very inexpensive ultra bright LEDs I got off of Amazon, which are way cheaper than anything you can find marked marine. Despite the colored filters on the light housings, I decided to use both red and green LEDs to make it even better. I think they look fantastic. I had plenty of little things to replace and install, like the Lazy Jack's halyard line block at the top of the mast. I replaced the old, small, and worn-out plastic block with a very hefty brass block that was not going to give me any trouble anytime soon. But speaking of blocks, there was one issue I wanted to redesign for the rigging. Almost all the catboats I have seen, like the America or the Sanderling, have halyard lines that run from the outside back of the cabin top to blocks mounted on the mast. The blocks are usually very small and mounted directly parallel with the center line of the boat, and not angled to accept the direction of the halyard lines coming into them. I really didn't think this was a good idea, and I could see where the block housing was chafing the lines, and additionally, the lines were not coming into the block wheel at the same angle, inviting jammed and worn out lines. So I decided to move the deck level halyard blocks out to the sides of the mast a little more, provide them with a little larger blocks, and angle them to receive the lines coming in and out of them a little better. So I made these round posts that had a bottom cut to match the pitch of the foredeck that would allow mounting of a good block. There's a large plate under the deck that the bolt connects to distribute the load over more of the deck, and sealed and connected to the deck with butyl tape and a bolt. Now I just added the stainless steel hardware and mounted the blocks and ran the lines. I picked up the blocks from used boat part groups on Facebook and have found several more at a local antiques mall in Springfield that had tons of them for a song. You might check that out as an option. Spoiler alert, they work fantastic and I think they look great. After that, and many little details that come with finishing a project, this little Herreshoff America catboat was looking great and ready to go back in the water. But there was one more thing I needed to do. I mentioned in the first episode that I would tell you why I chose the name Seahawk for the boat. Starting when I was a kid in the 70s, my parents took our family to Atlantic Beach, North Carolina almost every summer. It was near Beaufort and Morehead City, where we enjoyed dinners at the sanitary fish market, wandered around the waterfront, and built great memories at the beach. It became a big part of my childhood and memories I still draw upon. We always look forward heading there each summer and staying at a little classic traveler's motel, the Seahawk. Every room has an oceanfront view, and you could sleep every night with the doors open and hear the surf and feel the cool breeze. Well, the Seahawk is still there. New condos and hotels have been built around there in the last few years. Many of the other hotels from that era are gone, but some are still there. But the Seahawk is still a place I stay, and now I bring my family there. It brings back those great memories of when I was a kid with my mom and dad and sister. And the Seahawk now serves as a place to build new memories with my family, who have also been deeply moved by the beauty of this place. I'm grateful to my parents for having introduced me to some place that has created such deep meaning for me. So, as a tribute to the good memories I had there, as well as the good ones I make when I return, and in addition to the fact that I just think it sounds like a great New England sounding name for a catboat, and someday want to take the boat there to sail around the sounds of North Carolina, Seahawk just seemed to fit perfectly. Now let's get this boat in the water. The midday launch plan turned into more of an evening launch, but I was determined to get the boat in the water. With my family's help and that of my friend Skip, our yacht club commodore, and his wife Lori, we put her in the water and she went in as easy as can be, just like she was made for it. My nerves were greatly relieved when the engine started right up, although it smoked like a Cleveland steel mill at first. My youngest daughter and I motored across the lake, and brought it into the dock at the yacht club. The next day I came up to start rigging her up. Soon after, it was time to take her out for her very first sail. My daughters joined me as invaluable crew. While I have sailed on a catboat once, I had never raised a sail or any other gaff rig boat for that matter. So this was all new to me, but it went up easy and worked like a charm. Engine off, and we let her take the wind, what little of it there was.
It's so quiet.
Alright, let's see what she does. I'll pick up a little breeze here.
I really can't tell you how elated I am with this boat. I love sailing it, spending time on it. I love the way it rides and handles, and yeah, I even love the way it looks. The older I get, the more I like the older classic lines and styles of sailboats. Oh yeah, I love this boat. Well, that wraps up last season's work and sailing season. In the next episode, we start looking at fixing a few things for this season that didn't exactly go to plan, like the finish I applied to the hatch cover and cockpit sole, and what I'm going to do to fix them. As well as tackling a lot of other projects that I just didn't get to last season, like fixing leaking port lights. And this season, I'll start working on the restoration of my new project, the Herreshoff Eagle. Additionally, before I go, I want to remind you that I have a special discount code for Total Boat and Jamestown Distributors purchases for viewers of the Salvation Navy. Check it out in the show notes below to save a few bucks on various products for your next DIY boat repair project. Lastly, a brief reminder that I am on Patreon, and I'm grateful for any patrons who help me out to make these videos. A Salvation Navy salute and pipe aboard for Fred Nangle, who is my first patron. Thank you, Fred. Very much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another episode soon.